Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, my fellow YouTubers. Welcome to another edition of Airy Sky Rita Lee's video blog. I'm Airy Sky. What's going on here? Select a stream. What stream? Oh, okay, whatever. Who cares, right? YouTube's making me have some wonkiness. Alright, so I just wanted to say welcome to the channel. If you're new to the channel, hit the like, subscribe, thumbs up button. If you're coming backer, welcome. So I want to make this an interesting video today. We're going to talk again. So as you've seen in the news today, the news turned around and literally stated that they have a mandate to do a couple things. One is they're like, we have a mandate to give the people their food stamps. Yes, so like I said to you, the government shut down. A lot of people are saying, well, the government shut down. What can we do? Are we on a different channel or something? Okay, here we go. Just loaded up. Alright, so basically the government turns around and they're like, oh, well, there's a massive blue wave. Everyone's like, oh, yeah, we got a mandate. We put Donald Trump on notice. He's going to put you guys on notice if you turn around and complain. Plain and simple. I'll tell you what's going on, okay? One is, he's sitting there. He's got, these people are making fun of him. They're like, did you see his brain melting? He had a brain melt. Well, anyway, so to make this video easy peasy, since it'll be short tonight, is the government turns around. I gotta take my ibuprofen this morning. The government takes around, and now that they think they got all of Virginia, like last night, and all of they're like, oh, so, well, let me tell you what I think's gonna happen, okay? Let me just tell you. Government turns around. As Trent and the rest said, Prop 50 passed. Prop 50 passed. Sounds like poop 50. Prop 50 passed, or crap 50, whatever. And they're like, we're going to gerrymander California. Okay, cool. Good for you. However, the electors and the voters voted for it, right? All of a sudden you have these Republicans. They're like, oh, we have to sue. Really? Okay, so well, let's just say you go and take it to the courts, okay? Then I personally think, just fair and balanced. No, we're not talking about that guy, fair and balanced. I'm talking about fair and balanced, like in what we do to the fair people. Here we go, we'll just do that. Fair people is everyone. So technically, you want to basically sit there and go, oh, California did this, it's illegal. Okay, well, if California is illegal, I want to declare Texas is illegal, Florida is illegal, Minnesota is illegal, Missouri is illegal, Illinois is illegal, Indiana is illegal. Yeah, I want to declare every one of you people that claim, oh, it's illegal. Then if it's illegal in California, it's illegal across the board. You see where I'm going with this? It's called equality, okay? Equality. But guess what? There's too much non-equality in this world. That's right. That's right. You say, oh, well, it's like sitting around, right? And you live with a service dog. And you don't go out much. You have your own fears. And yet, you sit around and you sit there and you see emails and people email and they're like, yeah, a couple people, they're like, oh, we're coming for you. Yeah, because they claim that, as someone like me, I'm not a real prepper, but guess what? They're upset now because their party has lost. Yeah, I mean, look, I said it last night, okay? That we're going to see in the next 4 years, I think it's like a 4-year serve for the guy in New York, the mayor, okay? Let's see what happens in the next 4 years. I mean, he can't run for president unless they change that thing. He's like in Demolition Man. That just leaves Marjorie Taylor Greene, which they're all talking about her running for president because she knows that in 3 years, a little over 3 years, Donnie Boy won't be running again unless it's his brothers, or his sons. And everyone says his sons are dumber than a bag of hammers or a box of hammers. Okay, cool. Then you have, a lot of people are saying, don't get complacent, yet you turn around. Right, here's what I see. Remember I said last night, the government's turning around and they're like, look, we're going to do a mandate that we're going to demand the health care, right? They want to put 2 years of health care. Remember, 2 years is fine because they could just kick the can. January 1st, 2026, January 1st, 2028. Or January 2029, they could kick the can, right? So they could do it this way and retract some money, but then what? Then the Democrats say, oh yeah, we got to win. They don't got nothing. Plain and simple. They think they do. Thing is the ACA, they found a way to dissolve it because no one likes the name Obamacare or the Affordable Cares Act, so they're trying to dissolve it. And it's like, 15 years they've all enjoyed low health care. Yet, all of a sudden, we're going to do this, this, and this, right? So, what happens? A lot. And then, and then we have people turning around and, they're complaining. They're literally complaining every stinking day. Yeah, and then, now you got people like, to let the Democratic Party know, which is fine, that we cannot be complacent. We have to say no to them making a deal. We don't want 2 years of health care. We want health care for life. Yeah, but who's going to pay for it? My cousin Dinky, I think she's in the health care department. I mean, literally, maybe that's why she's angry. Health care for everyone, and yet the health care is for everyone. Hold on. Hold on. Yeah, my sister's like, oh, no. Anyways, yeah, the socialistic people. Anyways, so basically, I love my sister, dude. So basically, the government turns around and they're like, oh, we better make a deal, right? Meanwhile, you got the president turning around going, oh, we need to suppress all the voters. We can't let any white, we can only have one vote for family member. I want one vote. Really, that's what I hear. Okay, I don't know what's going on, right? It's not misinformation. I heard that they wanted only families, one vote. And if you're a man in a dress, 0 votes. So they want to control your vote. If you're a woman who's single, negative votes. So, they got all these voting ideas. It's like, oh, we need this, we need that, we need this. Really? Oh, we can do an executive order blocking mail order ballots. States control the ballots. Unless the federal government's going to turn around and say, no, you can't do it to the states, states are going to turn around and sue them and say, yes, we can. We're in charge of our own ballots. If it's mail order, or that's what I call it, mail order, mail-in, or in person, yeah, I mean, we have one mail box, one voting box in the entire county that gets, they empty it daily. And so if there's up to an election, they give you your ballot, and you have a week or two or something to fill it out, and then you drop it off in a little drop-off box. So we go ahead and we go into the, and by the way, a lot of people say, oh, well, they could just turn that and set it on fire or whatever. They can't, because there's cameras aimed at the box. And right next to the box is the county courthouse and the sheriff's office. That's the only box in the county that accepts it. And then the mail, you can get it postmarked. You can have it postmarked, and then they do, latent ballots, the next day. But the point is the American people turned around, and they're like, hey, we want our health care. We want our health care. And then people say, well, I got a lot of emails. So, hey, I thought for someone who's open-minded, you would be for the LGBTQIA community. It said you're just like, by the way, there's about 15 to 16 million LGBTQIA and about 1 to 2 million transgendered people. Probably 2 or 3 million cross-dressers. They have to be under the LGBTQIA, apparently. And it goes on and on and on. So what happens? Food stamps are still, I had a guy that, oh, food stamps, how am I going to eat? Not my problem. My problem is we don't care if you eat. Yes, we don't care if you eat. Yeah, of course. Problem is there's a lot of people in the world that, they're throwing a fit. And they're throwing a fit for various reasons. And those various reasons are always throwing a fit. Yeah. So, to me, it's like, how much more are you going to take, And, yeah. I mean, I got people, they're like, they're like, so my sister's like, oh, are you going to fix Paramount? Yeah. I don't even know what Paramount costs. I really don't want to pay for services, because money is tight. I mean, I don't like Paramount. Paramount's good, but Paramount's not needed, and I have Disney, and I don't even use that, and I use Tubi, and my family's like, oh, we're trying to log in because, well, well, then sign up with your own account. I mean, literally, a lot of companies, they've stopped the sharing thing. So, but yeah, my sister, she's like, anyway, she's the one that says everyone wants stuff for free. Yeah, well, nothing's free in this world, as my adopted brother Ted would say. Maybe he got his head up his butt yesterday, or did I even forget to email? Maybe I forgot to email him. I don't know what happened. Yeah. Yeah, so anyways, so Ted, of course, he's, yeah, so he did email me, apparently. I just forgot to email him back. That's fine, dandy. Yeah. So apparently we got this email. They're like, you need to verify your account in the next 30 days. And it's like, yeah, by November 16th. I guess I could verify it when I'm out and about. I just don't want to verify it, but you get the idea. So, yeah. So, anywho. So, basically what's going on in the world, people, is the American people turned around and they're literally, upset that, the American people are like, hey, we need our food stamps. Of course you do. But you think until they open it, they're now like, get the government open. So what I think's happening is the Democrats are turning around and they're thinking, okay, we got a mandate. We've wiped the floors. If we don't get what we want, we're going to, so the people of the country, the rednecks and the hillbillies, that's what I call myself, we are like, well, these people need the food stamps. So they'd rather trade their health care in for food stamps. And a lot of Democrats are like ready to open the government, but they have ideas, like the extension. But the thing is, see, the Democrats think we'll play the long game because as soon as we give health care, right, here's the thing. If we include health care, right, then they need to do it for at least 3 or 4 years. Because remember, they're like healthcare subsidies would be cut right after midterms, or cut right after midterms. Well, they're trying to restore it, but then they said, oh no, the healthcare subsidies alone will be cut by January 1st. So they're like, oh, December. So then you hear the Democrats are like, well, we want to extend this to November 21st. Yeah, but thing is, everyone's going home for November. So they're like, oh, well, we'll do it for December. Well, apparently, as you know, the President of the United States and Little Johnson, that's what I call him, Little Johnson wants to do it, do a continuing resolution until January so they can get the bills ironed out. They can have the bills ironed out tomorrow morning. The thing is they're just trying to play kick the can as usual. I mean, remember what I said. Food stamps, they're gone right now. I mean, literally. And then all of a sudden you got the government basically looking And I think after last night's mandate, this is just the theory I have, but I think the mandate's going to be that the government's going to sit there, and Donald Trump and his cronies are trying to sell, we need tariffs forever. But the problem with the tariffs forever is Congress is today's arguments was, I got email newsletters that came in because they're like, well, the American people gave the power of the purse to Congress, and you know how Congress is. They can't govern themselves. It's like the do-nothing Congress. Remember under Truman? Truman's like, the do-nothing Congress. The do-nothing Congress literally stated, that in Truman's time, he was going to draft everyone in the military or because of a strike or whatever. Thing is there's a lot of crap going on, and the Democrats, let's put it this way. You have my sister Dinky, my cousin Corey, cousin Dinky too, Dinky Corey, sister Dinky Corey, sister Dinky Cuz, and Corey, and my aunt, and then my other. So you got all these people, right? And they believe in what they believe in. They're like, hey, we can't take away, my uncle and aunt, they're worried because of food stamps stop. My sister, she's like, yeah, he's worried about his food stamp, and the family is like, well, we'll take care of that, right? And so, point is, I said last Saturday or some Sunday, why should I worry about my food stamps? Yeah. Literally, why should I worry about $24? Literally. Chloe, she came in, she took care of me. We're hoping, praying, that we can make a deal with the manager. But point is, Chloe, we love Chloe dearly, and the American people. The American people, there's two sets of American people, okay? There's the corrupt right, all right? They're like, oh, the corrupt right. The corrupt right isn't really corrupt, okay? They're the ones that are sitting there pointing the fingers and saying, like last night of Reese, that's her name. Reese, Dragon, Biggs, Trent, and that other lady, there was another one too, they all literally came in and said on election night, that the country's cooked. And they're seeing it from a point of view like the handouts. Look at it from my point of view, okay? The American people, the average working Americans, they get up, they go to work. They go home. They see Joe Blow, not working, sitting at home while they're working their butt off, trying to make a life for their family. And then you have someone like my adopted brother. Oh, I'm entitled. And yet the government turns around and says, you're not entitled to crap, right? I'm not entitled to crap. Chloe's not entitled to crap. But these people sit there and they think, well, our elderly are entitled. Really? I know a guy that's got to pay, what is he paying? He's paying $550 or $600 a month for his Medicare. High enough up. He had an inheritance. He bought a boat. And, well, we won't go into details. I think it was $600. But the thing is, the guy's a sweetheart. Fortunately, there's people out there that, they come into a retirement thing and, people say, well, you're at this age or that age. You don't need money. You don't need this. You don't need that. But the point is, there's a lot of people out there. There's two types of party members. Okay, one is, let me make sure my dog's water is filled because I always want to make sure he's got water. Okay. So there's two types of people. Two types of party. There's the Republican Party, which basically says, look, there's got to be some law and order, right? And then people say, oh, but there isn't law and order. We're going under a dictatorship. That's what you think because you don't want people pointing the finger and saying, what are we paying to support your sorry bacon when you're not doing anything? Look, let me put it this way. I had a nice email that came in from a friend of mine, right? She asked me if anything has been changing in the housing issues around the country for subsidized housing. A lot of subsidized housing, and I'm going to tell you this tonight, a lot of it's filled with alcoholics and drug users. Yeah, mentally ill people. They live in a cracker box palace. Yeah. And point is, the American people, they don't want to pay for someone's housing when those people aren't even trying to get treatment. Cheers to another day of coffee. Then we'll grab me another cup. Point is, the American people don't want to pay for fraudulent waste and abuse. I'll get you some gravy mode soon, son. Can you fill it? Nope. Hold on a sec. Where's that coffee can? Here it is. Today's Wednesday, right? Yes, this is. I may have to go to the bank and ask for some money. There we go. Alright, so here we go, peeps. So the American people turn around and they're tired, right? They're tired of seeing their money being wasted. Yet, you got these people, and I'm going to say it, okay, Democrats, they turn around and they think, or some Republicans think, well, we can get away with this. These people aren't real humans, right? So they go and they try to discriminate or subvert or, deny services, being like, you're not human, you're African American man, and we don't want to pay for you. And so what happens? Hold on a sec. There we go. Sorry about that. I needed to move this. I need to get to my tab for a second. Don't worry about it. I'll move it back in a second. I'm just checking groceries. There's this week's ad. I want to see what's going on. So anyways, the American people turn around and they chicken breasts. Then there's pork tenderloins. Not really a big fan of pork tenderloins. You could get a deal on them, but wonder what else is on sale this week. I'll see if Chloe has access to Safeway. That works. So basically what she does. So anyways, the American people are tired of turning around. See, I'm actually looking to see if there's any deals this week for food. Yeah, isn't that nice? So, so Chloe, is happy that the Democrats have won. And, hold on. There we go. So the Democrats won, and, don't you just like how you try to set this up and it doesn't? And they're just like, yeah. Okay, so the Democrats, they're all happy that, they now got a mandate, right? They're like, oh, we got this mandate so we can win. And, yeah. Now, can I get... See, now they're like, do you want to update your phone number? No. Oh, what do we got in my grocery cart? Too unavailable and removed at checkout. Whatever, dude. What the heck is... I don't care. Can we just view the order? Whatever is in my shopping cart. Let's see here. Chicken breasts. Okay. Hot dogs. Sausage. Totino's pizza rolls. Whatever, dude. Oh, that's like something. Just remove it. I don't care. And no one cares. Remove these. They're limited edition, so what? You just turned around and you cut it out. Yeah, see that? They're like, oh, do you want this? No. Anyways, I don't know why they're trying to charge so much money for this food. Oh my god. One bag of that? $30? For not even a 5-pound bag of, dude, this ain't cool. Just remove it. That'll save some money. I don't even know why. Oh, way. Yeah, so anyways, if you look at this, they got all these expensive stuff here. Anyways, I came in to find the weekly ad. That's what I came here for Safeway. So, money is tight. So, a lot of you out there, turn around. And, you're like, well, you're being a bigot. You're saying the healthcare, people aren't entitled to healthcare. Really. Look at you. You got insurance. I have insurance, yes. But my point is this the weekly ad this week? Yeah. Okay, hold on. Alright, there we go. So I guess it is. They just changed their format. So bacon's on. Oh yeah, look at this. So $5.33 a pound. Used to be $2.99 a pound. See, I know exactly what's going on price-wise. Alright, must be my hearing. My hearing's been acting up lately. Pork sale. Look at this. Get pork tenderloins, 99 cents a pound. Pork chops, 99 cents. You gotta buy that. Sorted. I would. I mean, a lot of people at that kind of price, 99 cents a pound. Yeah, I'd get some of those. See, pork chops. Okay, so they're trying to sell us $5 off Butterball while supplies last. Really? So, do we have a price on... Oh, look, coconut cheese balls. I was just looking at them recently. Okay, here we go. So, going down to the meat department, there is not much. See, $5.99 for a twin pack per pound, so it's $18 for 3-pound blocks of hamburger. You see that? 3 blocks. Or, sorry, one block. Okay, so... You have boneless chuck pot roast. Don't want a pot roast. See that is thing. So basically, I'm looking for groceries real quick. Here we go. Anyways, the bottom line is the American people, they sit there and they're like, don't make a deal, don't make a deal, don't make a deal, right? Well, what happens if you don't make a deal, right? Americans suffer. And the Americans suffer. Now, Chloe, of course. Yeah, so anyways, so I was telling Chloe about foods, right? And let's just get out of this. And she's more worried, she's like, well, can't you get Thanksgiving dinner at Walmart? And it's like, yeah, I can, because, they'll all have deals. But the thing is, currently, Chloe, the money's tight, right? Well, Chloe's disabled. So, Chloe thinks, and I'm not going to dissuade Chloe, but I want to tell you a story about, anyway, so Chloe turns around and she wants to waste money going to Seattle. And I gave her some coins. I had some extra quarters, and she thinks money grows on trees, and it's like money doesn't grow on trees. But she's like, oh, I need a day trip with my friends. Yeah, her day trip going down to her friends to see her food would cost more money, right? So she wants to go see a friend. That's fine. She has friends. I have friends. We all have friends. But to waste $40, $50, $60 during the pandemic is like wasting money on on you know, and so a lot of people like wasting money. A lot of people think that they're entitled. I don't think people are entitled, but I also don't think people. Yeah. So apparently, yeah. So apparently they want me to resubscribing it. See, there it goes. My sister's like trying to resubscribe, you know, and it's like, yeah, So I told my sister I'd look into resubscribing to Paramount. Thing is, I don't want to pay $12.99. That's the truth. So what did I get? I got an email for Paramount, right? Because my sister's like, oh, I want to watch Paramount. I like HBO myself, but you know, there's only like 3 shows I'd watch on HBO, and I'm the type that, yeah. So basically, the American people, like I said, they don't want people to make a deal. They're just like, no deals. We don't want deals. You know, a lot of people are like, don't take a knee. We want the health care. We want free health care. We want our health care, or at least we want socialized health care, and you're taking it away. Americans, I mean, look, the government cannot turn around. The government could, but the thing is all this stuff. I mean, if you take the $40 trillion, I think that's what the debt cycle is, right? The deficit, the debt is like 40 trillion, right? Anyways, the debt, you know, and then the people, right? You have all these people, you know, got the mainstream media. They're like, oh yeah, you know, Donald Trump's doing this, and then they have all the independent media, like myself, and you know, we all have our own opinions. And my opinion is, why should we watch and look at the debt clock going higher and higher for what, you know? And a lot of people are like, well, you know, it's like this, we need it and we need that. And it's like, we need it? We really do? I mean, literally, we need this? Yeah. That's what I heard, anyways. Yeah. And to me, it's like, what do, you know? And so, yeah. So you got all these things coming down the pipe, and yet the American people, they sit there and they say we can't afford it, and yet, you know, you got these other people saying we can't afford it, but that means we have to raise taxes for all. Remember, I did the voting thing yesterday about the state, you know, and they're like, do you want to pay for this, this, and this? And I was like, no, I don't, because it'd be like me turning around, right, and saying that the taxpayers want to sit there and see people pay for the elderly, right? The wording in this bill was, and by the way, I threw the book out, but it's like eligible, disabled, and elderly. Well, what if you're old and elderly and disabled, but you're looking at this bill and you're going, well, it doesn't apply to me, so why should we even pay for it? You see, to me, I'm looking at equality, okay? Everyone has to be equal. When everyone sits there and is a tyrant, a bully, and they turn around, what type of life is that? What type of life do you wake up to and you find out the government shut down still, and people are like, well, it's day 36 and the government's not open. Yeah, and then you got people like, well, if the government, I mean, look what happened right now. The country, right? The crap heads in the cabinet, right? I'm going to call them crap heads because the president ain't a crap head. It's the cabinet members are crap heads, and it's not a crime to call him a crap head. Those crap heads turn around, they're like, well, if the government isn't opened up by Friday, we're going to just shut down half the airports in the country. Sounds good to me, man. I don't care if you shut down half the airports in the country. I don't fly. What's next? Well, we have to shut down the thing. It's like yesterday, my adopted brother's like, oh, you're forgetting other things. No, I'm not, because I don't want to think about it. You see, people get food stamps. Food stamp pays the store. Store pays the truckers. The truckers pick up for the farmers. It all trickles down to, it's trickled down economies. It's like the government. The government turns around, right? And the government sits there, right? And I'll tell you why why a lot of people in subsidized housing wants to get rid of subsidized housing. Because they don't like the income cap. Think about it. You buy property, you sit there and you say, okay, I want to make it subsidized before the poor, right? Someone says, okay. They get into it. They own it. Then the government says, okay, you can't sell this building for 50 years. You finance it through us. We're helping you. What happens? You look at your overhead costs. Well, what happens? They start penny pinching in the subsidized building, only repairing what's needed, only cutting the middleman out, right? So all of a sudden they turn around and they cut out and they cut out and they cut out. Yeah. In the end, they cut everything out, and then the unit may be worth $1,500 for a 3-bedroom, or $1,800 for a 4-bedroom, or $2,100 for a 5-bedroom. Just saying, and that they cap it, right? Whereas on places where there's a housing crisis, they could sit there and say, well, without subsidized, we could get $500,000 for a 1-bedroom, just out the door, because we're going to sell the unit and $500,000, and then the people are in charge of their own unit, like a condo thing. They get their own little 1-bedroom condo, 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom, or even 4-bedroom condo, and we get more money. Fortunately, so the government says no, you can't do that. So what happens? The owners get cranky because they're fixed at a fixed level. So why do you think subsidized apartment managers turn around and they don't get paid much? Has anyone ever thought about that? That most of the managers I've dealt with, they just leave. They're just like, it doesn't pay to do the paperwork, and it doesn't pay to listen to tenants. Where some of them, they just are like, well, we have these ideas and we're going to get through it. But then or it's a paycheck to them. But paycheck with free rent connected to an apartment. But then, thing is there's a lot of fraud, waste, and abuse everywhere. Look at people with Social Security checks. Some of them get Social Security checks and they waste their money on booze. They waste it on alcohol. And then they work under the table, 1 job, 2 jobs, 3 jobs, 4 jobs. And again, they work under the table and they're like, the government's never going to know what's in my bank account. I mean, look at, literally, that's what these people think. The government doesn't know. What the government doesn't know doesn't hurt me. And I'm thinking to myself, that's considered fraud, waste, and abuse. But then you hear, oh, well, it doesn't matter what we want you to know because we're drug addicts and we need drugs. So again, they sit there and they do drugs. There's a zero drug policy in most federal buildings. States just say, oh, we have to do this. Then there's a zero drug policy in the states and federal buildings because they both coincide together. Then there's other things. And then when things do happen, the manager or the tenants are always coming together to fix things, And I got one lady who's like, oh yeah, don't forget, Chloe, I was always there for you. Well, Chloe said, I blocked that turkey, and I blocked it, and the phone ain't gonna ring. Well, if the phone does ring, Chloe better be, because frankly, thing is, Chloe just doesn't care anymore. Chloe just doesn't care, and Chloe does not plan to care due to the fact that Chloe has her own plans. And that includes me and Chloe, and not people that are complete bungholes, in her opinion, trying to rule Chloe's stupid life. These people, in Chloe's opinion, Chloe doesn't want to know them. Chloe basically reads the Quran and says, praise Allah. Allah be praised. Do not invoke yourself into anyone who's worshipping a fake God and not Allah. And, yeah. So, yeah. Literally, Chloe's the type of person just doesn't want to, doesn't want to deal with it, you know? So Chloe's like, I don't want to deal with this, you know? And I agree with Chloe, you know? Chloe doesn't need to you know, deal with this. And Chloe is, you know, completely right. She doesn't have to deal with this. And, yeah. Yeah. I mean, she's like, you know, she's got her own plan. And she's got her own plan, and her own plan will be, in her opinion, she came out here to talk about her plan. And she's going to, do her plan. Round cut, bottom round cut for stew meat. I don't want bottom round cut. I actually want I think it's a top round. I don't want a whole top round. But, you know, back in the day, top round was a very popular cheap steak. Now you can't even find them that often. That's the thing. See, an actual real top round was between 10 and 20 pounds. And if you ever remember that movie, Who Shot Liberty Valance, where you have the sheriff or the stagecoach guy or whatever it is, he was in the movie Stagecoach 1937 as the talking stagecoach. Great movies. He was like talking about food, right? And these steaks used to be like this. These are like, let's just say it's basically a top round is about the equivalent to an old 96er. Now, actual full top round could be about 7 pounds. Now, there's one place in Canada, the guy emailed me and I said, you know, I was actually interested in getting one. He says we're the only ones that cut it that size, and it's very rare. And I contacted some butchers, and they're like, no. So unless you want to buy yourself a big slab of beef, you know. But anyways, I don't mind that stuff either. But my point is the American people, you know, they're like now basically arguing about how they want. They want their food stamps restored. And I think the Republicans, they may give in. The Republicans may give in, but they may basically put a caveat. You can either have health care, food stamps. And apparently, right now, there's a lot of people that are like, well, you know, we need the food stamps. I mean, look. I mean, if you're on SSI, maybe you need food stamps. Now, my adopted brother, apparently, $42 on deli sandwiches out the door, pre-made. A friend of mine and I were talking about that. No, my God, no kidding. Oh, yeah, you're like red. Yeah, all right. And the point is, the American people need to realize that, you know, people shouldn't be paying $42. I mean, look, I got dinner coming up soon. And so for the sake of the arguments, I want to check these current pricing because I'm just going to go off of current pricing. But anyways, I was at Walmart last month. And, anyways, let's just go click on this. In-store. We're going to do in-store, okay. So, currently, okay, here we go. So, currently, right, food pricing, all right. So, I know, like, Trent and stuff. So, I have the buffalo-style, I had the chicken country fried steak last night for supper. $2.98. We also have the Dynamite penne and meatballs, $2.98. The chicken fajita, these are the bowls. The chicken fajita bowl, got that ready. The chicken bacon Alfredo bowl. The chicken fried beefsteak bowl. The spicy chicken queso bowl. The Nashi hot chicken recipe bowl, all $2.98. The sesame chicken lo mein bowl, $2.98. The bacon and mac and cheese, $2.98 bowl. For the mega meals, we got the boneless fried chicken meal, the Salisbury steak meal, the bacon cheddar patty meal, and the creamy provolone Salisbury steak meal. And then there it is right there. If you want one of those non-deli sandwiches, these are the regular market sandwiches. It says Mega Meats by Market. They're like $3.86. Now here we go. Then there's the original crispy fried chicken meal, and then the roasted chicken. Those are like $4.18. And then you got the mega fillets, a 6 count of filet sandwiches. Got those too. Spicy crispy chicken and original crispy chicken. And then you got the banquet mega meals, Salisbury steak, yeah, and then the mega meat garlic parmesan strips. Those aren't that good, but you get the idea, everyone. So basically, all of these things, $2.98 to $4.18, pretty much, unless you're doing the chicken patties on a bun. Me and Chloe's been meaning to try those. They are literally what we have in our freezer. Think about it. And yet people go, oh, well, without it, we're going hungry. Really? Maybe you need to check on what you're eating, because as soon as the mega boxes are out, I go back to taquitos, burritos, and chimichangas. And when those are out, I go to sausages. We are stockpiled, okay? I also got to look at other options for supplies. Like I told Chloe the other day that I got to pick up toilet paper. And she's like, how many are you buying? I said, I'm buying 3. 3 because, well, it's 3, And why? Because I wanted toilet paper. Yeah. So, 3 toilet papers. Yeah. 3 toilet papers. Yeah. And that would help me with it, yeah. So, yeah. Anyways, yeah. So apparently they want to charge $22.99 a month for premium. Oh no, premium standard is $18.49. I was paying $14.99. Oh my god. So apparently they're gonna do a bundle soon. Oh my god, look at that. So my sister was one of my family members asked about HBO Max. Oh, you're getting that one again? Well, there's only 3 shows, so unless I want to check the pricing, right? So one of the things I want to share with you is the price of HBO Max, or the price of the TV show. So the TV show I'm looking for is $26.99 or $37.67. I can afford that, right? And yeah, and then you have the complete series on box set right here. See, that's a little more money, but you can actually buy it and put it under your Christmas tree. See, that's the other thing. If you don't want to buy or stream things, you can do that. So, yeah. Yeah. So basically you just look. See, I got several tabs open. So you got like this. This is a good deal, I'd buy it. And this is a good deal, I'd buy it. That's a good deal, I'd buy it. And then, yeah, and then I'd buy all this. And I would put this under my Christmas tree, yeah. Because I can. And everyone says, well, why would you? Because I can. See? Because I can. And so, yeah. And then it would be done. Yep. So, anyways, that's what I would be thinking about. And, yeah. And so, a lot of people say to me, well, why don't you do that? And it's like, because I can. And it's cheaper than buying, the streaming services. So for like 3 months streaming service, you can go buy a box set or a couple box sets and be happy and have more entertainment for those streaming services. Because you got to look at it and say, is this on DVD? Is this on box set? Which one would be beneficial to you? And a lot of people don't do that. They just keep funneling money. I mean, you got to remember, my adopted brother used to say, you can have all the streaming services you want. But if you're not going to watch them all, what's the point? He's right. You're just pissing money out. So you got to basically be very frugal and very frugal and very, very frugal. And then you got Chloe. She's always talking about, oh, yeah, we got to be frugal. Oh, you got to buy rib roast for Thanksgiving. Really? I got to buy a rib roast. because you're going to spend money going to Seattle to hang out with your friend and spend $50 or $60, and I got to go buy rib roast for us. How's that fair? Now, that's what I said. How is it fair? I mean, literally, Chloe comes out here, and I mean, literally, oh, can you make sure to get me some ferry tickets? Yes, but why should I be the one going to get the ferry tickets when I'm stuck trying to figure out what needs to be done for Thanksgiving? And, then Chloe's like, oh, well, we need to do this, this, and this. We don't need to do this, this, and this. We could basically skip this, this, and this. But, the thing is it is what it is. I mean, if you look at it from my point of view, they're always like, oh, are you going to do this or you're going to do that? And it's like, yeah. I mean, you got to ask yourself how many, how many are you going to take care of, And to me, if you go through this one shopping store, it's like all the turkeys are $1.79 a pound. So, $1.69 a pound. So it's like $40 if you want a big one. And it's like, yeah. So, you got to ask yourself certain issues. Like, what's the better deal? And to me, the better deal is the better deal. Yeah. So it's like this, right? So it's $2.99 a unit for duck. Or it's $4.99 for duck if you want halal. Chloe's like, oh, we need halal. No, we don't. Just give me the whole damn duck and I'll be happy with it. Fortunately, Chloe's always joking about that. So, but anyways, if you look at, I'm just pricing out duck real quick. So a duck. So one duck, $4.89. Or one duck is, this says, sorry, unavailable. Yeah, okay. So they're low stock, so they're like unavailable. That's fine. We'll leave it in there. But if a duck's $4.89, and what is the poundage for this one? Let me see. Apparently, this is supposed to be $12 for a duck. So one duck, $12 is $12 per duck. And that's like $8 savings compared to Walmart. So, to me, I'm like, okay. So, and they're like $3.47 a pound. So, you got to look at your pricing, and then you got to talk to Chloe, and then you got to get Chloe to agree or disagree on duck. Because, but point is, people are like, well, what are you going to do about your food stamps? Nothing. Well, what about the people that need the food stamps? They can fend for themselves because the government's not going to be closed forever unless they don't want to bend to the knee to the health care. And that's a lot of what people are fighting right now is health care. And I'm like, dude, we don't need to worry about health care. Yeah. Because if we were doing something about health care, then we would be worried about health care. I'm not. Matter of fact, the only thing I'm worried about right now is the time is getting set up for dinner. Yeah, so, and I said I was going to do 30 minutes, and said it's 53. I rambled a bit, but, I'm trying. I really am. But my main thing is the government's going to have to literally turn around eventually and discuss health care. And if people sit there and say, we want it for life, and then they only get it for 2 years, they're going to complain. I mean, literally, the thing is the Dems have to basically agree this may be a temporary thing. Instead, they tried to do the health care thing. The Republicans tried to get rid of it. I mean, literally. I mean, the food stamp thing was supposed to be temporary. I mean, look, in the 1940s or 50s or whenever food stamps started, was it? That'd be a good question. Well, let me ask the AI question here. I think we can do that, right? When was the United States, is it under the Johnson administration when SNAP or food stamps came available. Alright, so food stamp program was on August 31st, 1964. Okay, so let me ask a quick question. Was the food stamp program supposed to be permanent or temporary under the Johnson administration? Apparently it was the war on poverty. Oh, that'd be a good movie to get. So it says, so under Johnson, he explicitly stated, as a permanent program, the food stamp plan will be one of the most valuable weapons for the war on poverty. The goal was to establish an enduring federal safety net for nutrition. So it was made permanent in 1964. So it wasn't actually, I'm just going to ask. So it was for permanent. It wasn't for, like, temporary. Well, then how come it's now temporary by the U.S. government? It's like 3 months every 36 months. See, it actually helps to learn. The Personal Responsibility and Work Opportunity Reconciliation Act in 1996. PRWORA, a major welfare reform law, generally an adult age 18 to 54, does not able to work and does not have dependent child in the household. Wow, so you need to have a dependent child to get in 1996. Continue to receive, you have work, participate, work at least 80 hours per month, approximately 20 hours per. Who is exempt? Disabled and medically certified is unfit for work, living with and caring for a child or dependent, pregnant, elderly, age 55 and older. This rule does not apply to people who are disabled or medically certified for work. Rule does not apply for disabled or medically. This rule does not. They're trying to dissolve it in Project 2025, saying anyone can work, even a disabled person, for food stamps. Yeah, so Project 2025 stated that too. Yeah. So, Project 2025, what they really want to enact is an act for getting rid of the safety net program. You work for your food. It says here, a philosophy moving away from what is dependency. That's the thing. A lot of people are dependent on it, and they don't want to change. You're correct. The discussion includes making it harder for people to claim exemption from work requirements. While current law generally exempts individuals medically certified as disabled from work and time limit rules, limit waivers makes it harder for states to get waivers for the federal government that currently allow them to exempt certain areas of groups from the time limits. Expand an age range for the able-bodied adults without dependents to 3 months and 36 months. See, scrutinize disability. While the law currently exempts those with a proven work-limiting disability, often linked to receiving SSI or SSDI benefits, proposals in this vein generally seek to tighten all exemptions and require more rigorous verification, including those who might be able-bodied but have mental health or other challenges do not qualify them for federal benefits. So basically they're going to sit there and say, well, you claim you're mentally ill, brother Ted. We're going to take you off of disability, brother Ted, because there's nothing wrong with you, brother Ted. They can do that. You see, they can do that for everyone on disability. It's what she's saying. So, see, scrutinize disability, right? Mentally health. Hold on about that. Yeah. And like SSI or SSDI or is medically certified is unfit. The debate in the core project is proposed making it more difficult to qualify for those exemptions, expanding the scope to who must meet the work requirements. Basically, it is for anyone. They want to force 95% of people to work. Look at Brooke Rollins of the USDA. She literally said, quote unquote, that she wants even 95-year-old grandmas to work for their dang food when we get rid of all the illegal immigrants. Yep. So basically, a lot of people have turned around and said, enough's enough. Oh, look who's come to visit us. Hello, everyone. My name is Moppy, and my bowl's empty. And Moppy wants a gravy bone, or 2 gravy bones, or 3 gravy bones, or 4 gravy bones, or even 5 gravy bones. I'm so gravy bone neglected, yeah. I even got half a bone from the delivery shop today when we delivered and returned a printer that needed to go back for repair, that was broken, and they gave me half a bone, but it wasn't a gravy bone. I want my gravy bones. I don't even like those holiday biscuits Chloe got me because they don't taste like gravy bones. Gravy bones are like crack for dogs. What's up, baby? So shall we get done soon, huh? And have ourselves a little merry little dinner? What do you think? Salisbury steak or some bowl? Yep, he wants his gravy bone. That's what he's waiting for. He's like, gravy bone. So, anyways, the food stamps, see, you learn something every day. So, in 1964, food stamps was passed. But now they're tightening it and tightening it and tightening it, claiming you can work for 80 hours because they want to prove you can work. A lot of people out there, they can't work. They have health issues. They have mental illness. Chloe's got mental illness, and yet Chloe's trying to prove she can help in some way, but it doesn't help that much. Gravy bone? Huh? A little gravy bone? There you go. A little biscuit full of a little bowl. He's got this little bowl. Let me see if I can move the camera for you. So he's got this little bowl right there, and it's filled with gravy bones. Yep. So he's like sitting there scarfing away. Little dog's got more gravy bones than me, but you know he works for it. So he went to work today and he gets paid today. That's what he was waiting for. He's like, oh yeah, gravy bones. Anyway, so basically they're tightening it, and a lot of people back in the 60s, you know, a lot of people think, you know, a lot of Republicans think it's food stamps should be for the elderly that can't bring in food, but, you know, or disabled, but people that, you know, people, oh yeah, I see what you're doing. Look at him. Oh, yeah. Wag that tail, son. Yeah, look at that. Woo, woo, woo. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You're smiling, aren't you? Anyways, everyone loves him. Basically, the bottom line is to you guys is the American people are tired. They're tired of, you know, they're tired of paying. I mean, literally, people sit there and they're like, is the government phone service going to stay in business? Yeah, because you're paying taxes already. They embedded it in your phone service. So, I mean, literally, I was talking to a guy the other day that said he wanted to get rid of the flip phones. And another person said, no, they may be harder to track, but they don't have all the buttons and stuff. You know, they don't have, like, this with a GPS locator and smart thingies and, you know, and a smartphone. I mean, this is like a little handheld computer that you can make phone calls. I mean, they're getting to the point where things are, you know. So apparently 2 hours ago in the news, the senators, I hate this channel, they always tell me, do you want to spend money to get the news? Yeah. So apparently closed-door GOP luncheon, Democratic negotiation, independent, and and they rule out staying past the Senate's normal Thursday afternoon. That's tomorrow. It says they're trying to get an agricultural, FDA, military construction, veterans affairs, and legislative branch for that. So they just want to throw together a non-appropriation bill that's only half, maybe. I don't know. Senators will need to consent from every lawmaker to speed up consideration of the funding package. Republicans will need help from Democrats to even bring it to the floor. Yeah, because now Democrats think that they own the what they call Republicans. Now, vote on a continuing resolution this Friday. The House could vote on the package to reopen government next week, according to 4 people of direct knowledge. The Republicans think they can nail down the question in the next 24 hours. So it says here, but many lawmakers, especially in the House Democrats, the leadership believe the final government reopening might not be till November 17th, right before Thanksgiving holiday. I mean, isn't that a bunch of BS? Hakeem Jeffries, who's now writing on "We rule the Republicans, we rule the Republicans." Really, he doesn't rule. He should step down. He's a bad leader, in my opinion. Wednesday afternoon, told Democrats on a caucus call Wednesday afternoon they would continue to urge the Senate to stay the course and hold the line. Yeah, the Senate. The government shutdown drags on. According to 3 people granted anonymity, House Democrats saw the party's landslide victories in a statewide elections Tuesday as validating their shutdown strategy of pushing for negotiations on health care as a condition of voting to reopen the government. Really? Across the Capitol, however, bipartisan negotiations are ramping up, and some progressives now fear Senate Democrats will accept a handshake deal or vote to extending expiring Obamacare subsidies rather than a firmer commitment to pass legislation. See? And then when they do pass it, guess what happens? And then they're talking about sinking boats in the Caribbean. That should be addressed. And then they want to save the filibuster, and Donald Trump says, whatever happens, I mean, literally. I mean, in my opinion... So it says Trump is on the ballot in 2026. Trump is not on the ballot because think about it. He's only saying this little weenie Johnson's like, if you don't put Trump on the ballot, they're going to impeach him. Look, let me put it to you this way, okay? Here's how it plays out, okay? Here's how I see it. We go in. We get a deal. They give health care for 2 or 3 years. They go and extend it to the food stamps, right? They sit there and they cut out or rescind whatever Donald Trump, he can still appeal it. He can be like, veto, government shut down. Then they go, they pass it again, veto, government shut down. Then they pass it a 3rd time, he'll go, I vetoed this, he can't do it. And then the courts turn around and it goes to SCOTUS. And SCOTUS says, well, we have 2 choices. After the 2nd time of veto power, it has to be law. Everyone knows how the bills are made, right? So then they say, nope, doesn't work. I mean, look at the tariffs, right? The American people are putting, I think, SCOTUS on notice. They're like, look, if we can get and drum this much support right now, because this is how I see the Democrats. The Democrats are anti-Trump. Well, we're anti-Trump, anti-Republican. We're for free health care. Well, it's not really free, okay? It's you still pay, but it's a pool. The healthier you are, the less money you need to pay in. The worse off you are, the more money you're paying, right? And you're paying in a pool. Then you have, these people, they're like, oh, anti-this, and, and then they're like, oh, their Antifa is, a terrorist, right? Antifa doesn't exist. Antifa means anti-fascist. Well, Chloe's always squabbling about them, but guess what? Again, you're like, anti-fascist doesn't exist. Okay. So basically, these people are sitting there, right? And then you got all these clickbaiters going, "Oh yeah, woo doggy, woke is back. We told them where to stick it." SCOTUS still can rule and stick it to you and say Donald Trump has more power, and you can turn around and you're going to be paying your tariffs. What are you going to do? Next 3 years, basically only buy what's needed and be like, "Oh, the economy's tanking because we're not spending money." Dude, F you. I mean, that's what you guys did yesterday. Or they could sit there, which I saw the notes today, and the tariffs, they may just basically sink it down and say, your economy sucks. Bring back the old ways. Nah. Maybe even the SCOTUS ain't getting enough money anymore because they're paying high tariffs. Now, let's just say, oh, by the way, the SCOTUS, 3 of them at least, maybe even 5, said tariff is a tax. You think? Then, all these Democrats did the wording. We're doing affordability. And you know, my friend, he's like, "Oh yeah, cheap eggs are always cheap. I could eat 20 eggs a day." Yeah, I tell you, I have a heart attack. But anyways, point is, nothing is cheap. Okay, the expense is not there. The American people say, and yet, all these people, they are literally not good. Not good at all. And yet, the government, you know, when the government opens, I'm hoping for, I mean, there's a lot of problems, let me just say. And the problems will not be resolved. Yeah, won't be resolved. I mean, look at the corruption, is what I was trying to get at a while ago. The corruption is so bad, right? You got the Republicans thinking it's a mandate, right? Well, we got to get rid of, yeah, I mean, look, they already implemented half of Project 2025. Okay, what's going to happen? The Democrats have to go in and basically, for 2 years, okay, here's what's going to happen. For 2 years, right, you guys are voting for Democrats to go in and lower your grocery prices. Lower your fuel costs. Now, my brother said, "I'd rather pay $900,000 and deal with a Democrat." Cool, then go ahead. I don't care if you're poor. Thing is, I don't want to see anyone poor. Okay, that's why I voted the no taxing. Don't raise taxes, because taxes raising just to give a handout to someone stinks. It's like, oh, we have to cover our county expenses, so we got to raise our taxes again. That is where I think we could cut corners. We don't need EMS and fire and police. Just we can manage ourselves. And of course, without police, you know, the laws wouldn't be there, and someone would shoot each other, and then everyone would be stabbed to death or killed. So yeah, guess we need police. EMS? Well, yeah. Well, I guess we could use EMS too. And fire? Oh, well, you know, we have to do that. And then if your house burns down, that fire department says, "Oh, you have insurance? Oh, great. We're just going to bill you for putting this fire out." So it's how it works. The fire department gives a bill. So anyway, look at it. It's like nothing is free. Yeah, so it's like you may not need the fire insurance, but you better have fire insurance. That's why a lot of people are like, you know, these taxes are out of hand. It's like, you know, you go in and they say, "Oh, we need to raise the county sales tax by 2 percentage points, hypothetically, because we got to cover, you know, other services like the mayor and this and that." And it's like, when does it end? When does it frickin' end? Yeah. When does it frickin' end? Yeah. And then, you know, you got all these people. You know, you got one mayor, he's out on his butt. You got another mayor who's oh, sorry. I got up to think about something for a second, and anyways, the point is I gotta get dinner in. The point is, you know, my adopted brother, you know, he's gonna basically send me an email like, "What the hell? What are you talking about?" I'm talking about the American people, where, you know, they don't want to pay higher taxes. And you know, that means, you know, we shouldn't be paying higher taxes, and we shouldn't be paying oh, we shouldn't be needing to pay higher premiums for things that we don't need. I mean, literally, like my family said, the food stamps was specifically for food stamps was only for temporary, and yet, you know, in 64 it's permanent. Then they had to say, well, we can't have it in 94. So 30 years later, they're like, 32 years later, they're like, work requirements, 80 hours a month. And then, you know, except for exemptions. And then exemption, now they want to wipe the exemptions away. And all these people sit there and say, hey, so you don't care, but you want to wipe the exemptions away because some people can't work. You know, my problem is this, okay? I'll tell you what my problem is, okay? People that bring in too much money, they don't get much in food stamps or any. The ones that don't, they say, oh, well, look, come here, I got $400 a month of food stamps. But they're making peanuts, right? But then they get their electric covered pretty much. And if their electric ain't covered, they always go and ask for help because they're like, this is my check. This is what I get food stamps and I get Medicaid. But, you know, my little check, you know. Thing is, if you get a little check, you put your little check towards electricity and your housing. And if you have any extra, you can probably get an internet. But then they're like, oh, I can't afford it. So they always ask for handouts, you know, these people. And then I see people that get money, they work under the table, and they excessively drink and do drugs. And, you know, they pay very little. And, you know, and this, people say, well, you know, and they're underpopulated. That means they're in a bigger unit than they should. And the American people are tired of it. They're tired of sitting there, literally seeing their money go to waste, and all these people around say, oh, well, you know, I'm entitled. I've been here 29 years. 29 years. You should be in all geezers' home. I mean, literally, you're under a bridge. I mean, literally, the government shouldn't be supporting someone for 29 years and then turns around and says, well, I didn't know. Thing is, fraud, waste, and abuse is everywhere. I mean, if you turned around and did a Social Security review every year, you'd be finding out how many people are excessively boozers and how many people are doing drugs. They'd be like, oh, yeah, we called you in today for this meeting we're doing, and they don't tell you, and they're like, piss in the cup, and someone says, what? Yeah, it's a new drug test. You got to piss in the cup. If you come back with any drugs or alcohol, you're off of disability, right? And then they sit there and say, oh, well, I thought it was a review. Yeah, review, we're asking you to piss in the cup. And we're going to do it hourly. So, you know, they go through it, you know, and they say, okay, you're on pot. Well, I thought pot's legal. It's in the state. Pot may be legal in the state, but we at the federal government doesn't accept it. Off the drugs, right? Well, you know, but all these people, they have all these reasons. Oh, well, if you live in there, you got to show that you're going to get treatment. No one's going to get treatment. Some people, they don't care. They think it's, you know, it's like my father said. Drug users and alcoholics, they don't want treatment. My mother went through treatment 7 times. It didn't do her a damn bit of good. She's dead now, but you get the idea. So, point is there's too much fraud, waste, and abuse. And that is why people come to me and they say, well, why are you a freaking Republican, Rita? Because of what I've seen in my life. I've seen more crap than you guys. I told Zoe, moderator Zoe, sister Zoe, I love her dearly, waiting in a welfare line at the welfare office for 8 hours for a measly $14 in food stamps, waiting 8 hours with Aaron, and Aaron waited just to get 60 at the time. And then we had to go back every 3 months. We finally said it's not worth it going back every 3 months, sitting here 8 hours, and he eventually got himself a Game Boy, and he's like, ugh. And before he said, oh, that's cool, that's great, that's awesome, I'm serious. He literally turned around people, and he literally, yeah. I mean, I've seen where African Americans and Hispanics walk in and they get treatment within 15 minutes, and then people say, oh, well, we're voting with our pocketbook. We're voting the Republicans out because they took away DEI. oh, if you're transgender, you get preferential. No, you don't. If you're transgender, you're on the bottom of the barrel. If you're black or African American, they don't give you preferential. They just say, oh, here's the thing. Thing is, you know, whatever this DEI thing is, I mean, in this day and age, does it work? Maybe. Does it not work? Maybe. Point is, people sit there and say, oh, they discriminated against me because of my religion. All of a sudden, they're all flocking trying to fix something. It's always something. Oh, they discriminated because I'm a drug addict and they can't take it. And, you know, if you're a drug addict, you're admitting you're a drug addict. Go get treatment before you freaking, you know. I mean, the American people are tired of it. They're tired of the freeloaders and they're tired of the moochers. I mean, literally, they are tired. The drug addicts and the alcoholics, in my opinion, and this is not just anyone. I was telling this to my adopted sister, PC, the other day. That's her name, like personal computer, PC. And she said, or PC, yeah, I think that's how it is, PC. Anyway, she said that, you know, they need to get treatment. And if they can't get treatment or they won't get treatment, throw them out. But these people, they're not even offered treatment. They just sit there and say, oh, I'm not going to ever be caught. I mean, look, I've seen living in subsidized building, I've seen people being thrown out for drug use, thrown out for excess non-cleaning compliance, thrown out for drug use, thrown out, and then the drug users basically claim something, and all of a sudden the damn management company loses their contract, and all of a sudden, this was in Moses Lake, all of a sudden it changes, and all of a sudden the new company goes, you're out, all druggies. Or in Quincy, you're out. Or, and Quincy was bad with drugs. You walked on the one side of the railroad tracks, you may have 5 or 6 drug users, right? On the other side of the track, you had the gangs. And they're like, hey, man, you want to try me? And you're like, I'm just checking out this apartment complex here. Then you don't qualify because they want like 3 times the money. And you're like, that's fine. You filled out the applications. They denied you. And, you know, and people are like, yeah, it's a, you know, and yeah, I mean, we've tried a lot of it. And then, you know, and then the thing is it's like, and then, you know, you like, there's a couple in Ephrata, right? They lost the management company drugs, right? So, you know, I've known owners, you know, and owners' daughters of different management companies over there. And I'm like, hey, remember me? So, you know, you don't sit there and say, you know, what you were wrong. You make a conversation. They say, okay. They listen, and then you say, hey, what happened, you know? And they say drugs. Basically, you know, the government cracked down on drug users, and we finally, you know, they lose the subsidy. But the thing is, it takes a lot to lose it. The thing is a lot. Fortunately, it takes a lot. And, you know, the thing is, a lot of these places, they lose it, and then all of a sudden the new management comes in, and they're like, okay, we're cleaning it up. And then all of a sudden, you know, you see other places say, hey, this place has fraud. Which, I mean, I heard the other day that the place that Chloe wanted to go to, they want to shut it down because there's like half the building is drug users and the other half the building is drug dealers. And you're thinking to yourself, how is this possible? I mean, literally. I mean, I can count 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 users, and it depends on the method. Like, one guy, I don't think he does. But, you know, people say, oh, he does it too. No, he doesn't. Because if he did, I'd smell it. Okay. Then you had the old lady, like, I'm not talking about me. They're talking about the lady that got ran out. Now they can't fill the place. That lady was doing drugs instead. Yeah. And then she complains. Oh, yeah, that girl, she's in an abusive relationship and doing drugs. Always saying something, right? And then, you know, you got the other one. That one there, she can't tell the truth because she lies and she's on drugs all the time. But that guy there, they got to get rid of him because he's on drugs too. And then you got Then you got another lady. That lady next door, she isn't on drugs. She's just too fat. I mean, he was like a chronic complainer. So, I mean, literally. So, but anyways, point is, federal government turns around. They're trying to do something nice to the Republicans. That's what I'm trying to get at. Republicans vote for a mandate. You know, get rid of these things, right? You got people, right? The Republican Party. And your Republican Party is, yeah. I don't know. Anyways. I better get my dinner started, and then I got some gaming to do. So, I just want to say thank you for watching. You know how it is. Food stamps, they may restore it this week. They're talking about the 17th. That's 12 days away. 12 days, a lot can happen in 12 days, people. So I just want you to be surprised that, you know, and from now until the government reopens, get to your food banks. Ask for help. If there is resource centers, go there. If you can, the Red Cross does give vouchers at times. Try them. I mean, we're in some trying times. Unless the government reopens, you know, and gives, I mean, let me put it this way. There's two ways the government's going to be shut down. One is they basically keep it shut down because Donald Trump keeps vetoing things. It's highly unlikely. He already said we need to open it because the government shut down. A lot of people are voting to, you know. And the thing is, you know, is the Democrats think they have now new leverage and power after basically wiping all of around the country. Apparently, you know, you got all these Democrat mandates that came in. And they're like, look, we're making... See, what the Democrats did, or the voters did, is they voted for... they wanted to put Donald Trump on notice. You want to be a thug? You want to be a dictator? We, the American people, are voting to get rid of you. And if you keep this up for the next 2 years, Little Johnson's going to be worried about you being impeached. Well, they can impeach Little Johnson, too. Actually, I think what's going to happen is when the mid-cycle comes, if the Democrats truly hold to their words, there's nothing the Republicans can do. But the Democrats may just look to other alternative Republicans or Democrats that are not MAGA or left-leaning, that may be in the middle, on the middle ground, to vote these people, the new blood in, due to the fact that they're tired, quote, unquote, you see, if the Democrats take a knee and say we were going to open up the government, no. The Democrats right now, they want their health care. If you can give them health care and put the food stamps back on, then once you get that all straightened out, then they can do the appropriation bills, and then the Democrats could sit there and say, hey, you know, but if the Democrats turn around and shut down the second government because, you know, that the appropriation bills aren't to their liking after the thing, then you got to blame the Democrats. But the Democrats have to play it safe. Right now, they think they got a mandate, and if they can force health care and restore it for at least 2 or 3 years, they're going to do that and then kick the can while they do it. But guess what? Democrats are useless. They won't even fix the Social Security problem. I mean, they could have that fixed. I mean, look, you could probably take all the tariffs for the property you're selling and put it into, you know, into Social Security. But nope, won't happen. I mean, Donald Trump's already claiming we got $17 trillion in tariffs. If that's the case, which, by the way, did you see the real numbers that came out? A lot of people are like, the guy lied. $17 trillion. We can support half our government by getting rid of our deficit. Half of our deficit would be gone with that many tariffs. And then you hear, well, if we don't, and you know, did you see the Supreme Court today? They're like, how does the refunds work? If we rule in favor of, you know, the Congress has to control the purse strings and Congress has to control the tariffs, how does the refunds work? Because the tariff is a tax and they're going. So they want to get that out of the way right now before they rule. And, you know, if the American people did this kind of a mandate, you would think the American people would be smart enough to go straight to SCOTUS and say, hey, President doesn't have immunity. We're putting you on notice. If you don't do it, we're going to basically impeach all of you. I mean, look, Donald Trump, you Little Johnson, Donald Trump is on the ballot, you know. Yeah, you know why? Because he's trying to rile up the base. The base didn't vote for them. The base did. You know, if you look at the true MAGA base, it's collapsing. It's crumbling. There's people out there like me that sit there and say, hey, look at the political point. Look at my friend Chris. Oh, I voted for Trump because my mom and I can't lose our house. Fine and dandy. But what happens if the Democrats get all back in and then your mom loses your house? You're sitting there, hi, I'm Chris, I'm under a bridge. Sorry, I don't want to say my brother Chris is under a bridge, but you get the idea. I mean, literally, these people are scared. They are scared. They're scared that they're going to be paying. See, here's the true problem with the hatred in the country with the true Americans, okay? You got the left wing going, woke is back, baby, woke is back. You got the right. You got the right, people. They're paying taxes. They're paying taxes. They're taking care of people. They're taking care of the illegals, the Hispanics, the blacks, the Americans. I love Hispanics. I know people that have been here 20 years. Sweetest people in the world. Pay their taxes. Love everyone. I love them. You got the trans community going, we voted. The 4 million transgendered people voted last night. They were like, we're not laying down. We are women. We are men. You got the other 10 to 12 million. I think it's like 16 million LGBTQs in this country. You got like 10 to 12 million LGB turned around. And they said, we're not standing down. We want our same-sex marriages. We want our people to literally be happy with who they are. And we don't want you messing with our marriage. And these people turned around and said, we're voting. Yeah. And they went out and they voted. Now they're saying, look, woke's back. Next election in 12 months, what does the Democrats do? And they're saying, oh, well, we can pass this. Really? Meanwhile, Donald Trump's going, we need to look into voter suppression. Really? I'd like to see this voter suppression you guys keep talking about. Because, let me tell you, from what I understand from watching YouTube all the time, like my adopted brother, he gives me crap. Like, the video game thing was amazing. I gotta say, he did good on that. But most of the crap he gives me, yeah, I mean, literally, unless it has something of an interest to me it's kind of utterly crap. I mean, literally, the utter garbage express. That's what I'm trying to say. The utter garbage express. I mean, the utter garbage express is the utter garbage express. Pretty much the garbage express. Americans sit there, and the reason they hate African Americans, they hate Hispanics, and they hate refugees is the refugees came in here. I mean, look. If you look at refugees, they come in here. They take little jobs. I knew a bunch of immigrants from Egypt. Man, they were rude. I mean, those were the rudest people I've ever met, right? And most Egyptians I met for travels, the Giza, my favorite place. They were the nicest people in the world. But these ones that came over here, they thought their crap didn't stink. And they shouldn't be lower than us, right? And eventually, I don't know what happened to them, but they were rude. And they came in, and and the real problem is I'll tell you what these immigrants are, okay? The people that sit there and they say, oh, the immigrants are taking our jobs. Well, let's put it this way. The immigrants aren't really taking the jobs. They're the ones that come in the country. They sit there and say, okay, what can I do? Oh, okay. So we'll start with doing janitor work at McDonald's. Then they move up the ladder. They're in the fry, and then, whatever. And eventually, they're like manager. And people say, oh, he took your job. No, he worked his way up. I mean, look at the immigrant Egyptians. They were doing the dish pit at a Denny's. And they were rude. They were rude, and they were rude. And you know what? There's a lot of people out there that were upset at the fact that these people were rude. They were rude because, well, then, doing the roofing thing, a long time ago until an accident happened. The roofing thing was some of the contracts we never got because they'd have a job done in like 18 hours, between 18 and 48 hours, job done. They'd do a whole tear off, clean it all up next day, and then put all the starter on, and then the next day they'd finish the roof. 2 days. It would take us 3 to 5 days, maybe 7, depending on how big the roof is. Yeah, torch downs are a pain in the butt, but they could do a whole team. I mean, it's like Yeah, a whole team can go in there, and get it done. And thing is as a contractor, that's how it works. They bring in a whole bunch of people and they get it done faster if they want. So then they say, oh, the illegals, Then you have the people, again, my boss was like a stepfather. He was my stepdad too. And, we talk about African Americans. They'd come in and be like, oh man, they discriminated because they think I'm a thug. I mean, I've seen some pretty dang fine African Americans wearing suits and ties and driving nice cars and being, not all African Americans are thugs. A lot of people think so. They see the do-rag and they're like, oh, there's a thug. I mean, literally, it's like walking down the street, right, and living in Little Mexico, and you see these people and they're like, you ask questions like, where's the bad neighborhoods? Oh, across the tracks. And then you get a police scanner. You listen until they change it over because they don't want you to know what you're doing in another county. And then what happens? The African Americans, they're like, out here we have 4 or 5 sweetest people in the world. Little Mexico, oh my God, Little Mexico, where I lived in Eastern Washington, most of them were immigrants. Most of them, some of them were thugs. Some of them would sit there, right? You'd go fishing with a few of them, and you'd be like this, right? You'd be fly fishing, and you'd be like this, and, the whole fishing thing, and you're like in a nice day, you got your shades on, and you pull out a nice trout like this, and you're like, okay. And Aaron says, we'll make deep fried mountain trout. Guy comes up, and you look in his bucket, and he's got maximum plus 40 more. And he's like, oh, we're going to go over here. And you're thinking, and that night he's got them all frozen in his freezer, and you're thinking to yourself, the guy is a poacher. This is the stuff that I've seen. Some of them weren't, but most of them are nice. I knew a woman who was Hispanic that was a woman who drove a truck. Hard-working American. She was born in this country. She was Latino. I knew a lot of people that were, their parents were immigrants. And they came over, and their parents, you say, do you have a residency card? And they said, no, we became citizens. They did everything by the book, got their citizenship. Their kids are born here. They followed everything. You got some of them that sit there and say, oh, yeah, we immigrants, we have green card, and our kids are anchor babies. So you have a residency card, but you don't have a citizenship. Well, there's a difference, But point is, there's a lot of these people that hate these types because they think that they were flooded over the years, over the 40 years. I mean, when you were growing up in the 80s, you didn't see many Hispanics. You didn't see many African Americans. Yeah, most of them, but then they started coming out more and more in the 90s and 2000s, And by now, you see a little more. But growing up, there was more whites all over. And the occasional Asian and the occasional whites, and the occasional, doctors. But nowadays, it's all, people sit there and say, yeah, my doctor's a Chinese vagabond. Or Vietnamese, or Filipino, or Korean, or, I had a doctor recently, the sweetest guy in the world. I said, are you gay, sir? And he, because, we were talking about that, and he was talking about, and he said, yes, I admit I'm gay. And I said, where are you from originally, And he's like, wow, you want to let the government know so I can be deported? No, I'm just curious because I love your accent. And he was like, oh, Poland. Praise the Lord, Poland. He's like, really? Yeah. He said, I lived in Australia. People thought I was Canadian, eh? Eh? Point is, the American people need to realize that, American people need to realize that there's a lot of hate in this country, okay? There's people out there that hate. And the reason they hate is because they see that you're not black, okay? You're not black. Or they hate, like I have a couple adopted sisters, they're lesbians. They hate them because they're, they call them the Knights of the Furry Taco. Who cares? If you love each other, that's the main thing, right? If you love each other, who cares, right? I mean, I accept them. I accept all people. But what I don't accept is the fact that there's too much fraud, waste, and abuse in this country. Literally. I mean, you got Republicans that want to suppress people, yeah, to a point. But the thing is, the Republicans are sitting there saying, look, you got the woke people saying, you can't suppress us because we're black. You can't suppress us because we're African American. You can't suppress us because we're Latino or Hispanic. You can't suppress us because we're Asian. You can't suppress us because we're LGBTQIA. See, I don't say trans or gay or, all these people. And yet, what happens? They're like, oh. So they sit there and they say stuff like, let me show you an example. I know one who's like, Charlie Kirk shouldn't die. We all have to worship Charlie Kirk, right? They believe in the Jehovah's Witness Bible, which, if you ever look up and watch those YouTube vids, this Bible is the most corrupted Bible in the world. It cost me a lot of money, but the thing is where was I anyways on this? Romans. So I went back to Romans. I read this like 9 times, okay? What book do I prefer? The Quran. See, I'm working on this one. See, I'm on this one backwards. So I'm on Surah 4. Surah 4. Now, I also have cut out swearing. So, this helped me cut out swearing because there's a funny story behind this. So, my sweetheart, it's backwards. So, my sweetheart used to tell me, read this. You see how it's wore out? And I used to have this in my purse. See how it's got like nicks and stuff? Let me just show you, see? He'd be like, read this, right? God's Word, right? And so, now my current Bible, I love the color, by the way. I just ordered, anyways. I give my green ones out as gifts. So, Hebrews, see? But isn't that nice? See, it's green. It's got a little cross on it. Anyways, I read this and my Quran. Anyways, the bottom line is, people, before I go, is, there's a lot of hate in the world. You got the Republicans who believe that God said man should marry only a woman and a woman should marry a man. Woman should be submissive. Quran says something like that. And then you see the Quran talk about LGBTQIA people need to be stoned or put to death. Doesn't matter. Mandani, that guy, he said, even the immigrants and transgender people need to be loved and be defended. Well, in this day and age, he's an American. He's the New York mayor-elect, so he can say what he says. To me, I just want to say for the record, for me, where's that coming from? Hold on a second. I want to see something. Oh, it's the shining of the light bulb from the a green light is from the Christmas thing. Okay, cool. So, but anyways, the bottom line is, for all of you people out there, is there's a lot of hate. Okay, you can hate because you're a Jehovah's Witness. You can hate because you're Mormon. You can hate because someone's gay. You can hate because someone's les or trans. You can hate because this person and this person works together and they're gay and a lesbian team running a news network. Or you can love. Unfortunately, there's a lot of people out there that have more hate in their heart, and they think that they're right and you're wrong. And there's a lot of hate out there. Republicans, same thing. Democrats, same thing. Democrats, they hate Repubs. They think Republicans should pay their fair share. Now, I'm not going to go on a limb here because people will email me, bomb me, and say, your channel sucks, or you don't know what you're talking about. Well, I do. You see, a lot of Republicans out there, they've paid, and they've paid, and they paid. They go to work. They come home. They have a modest house. They have a modest car. They have a family. They take care of their family. They go to the store, and they see someone pushing a shopping cart with $500,000 in groceries. And they say, how can these people afford it? And they say, food stamps. They get mad. They pay, and they pay. And then they go and they order something, Let's just say they order internet, and their internet is more money. And they say, how come my internet's more money and these people are less money? Oh, that's a government subsidy. You're subsidizing and helping pay for these freeloaders. They get mad. Then they go and they buy a cell phone, and they say, what's with all these little taxes? And they say, oh, every monthly tax you're paying for the lifeline, so grandmas, grandpas, elderly, and disabled get free phone service. Someone's got to pay for it, as my brother Ted would say. And because we're arguing here, so Ted gets a free phone, okay? And then Ted has that's his backup phone. His main phone, it's like, I don't know, $300 a year, okay? He pays, okay? So he pays his fair share too. Thing is people pay, and yet those people, I'm not talking about Ted, the Republicans, they get tired. They sit there and say, why are we paying for this? And they hear people say, oh, that person's illegal. Really? I'd like to see the numbers before I say an illegal is getting a handout. An illegal is not getting a handout. Now, if I can see proof of it, yeah. I mean, I hear people say, oh, the illegals are getting free WIC. Not that I know of. Well, the illegals may be getting TANF, but the legals aren't getting maybe TANF. I mean, everything is temporary. The Temporary Assistance Needy Family Program, Assistance Needy Family, TANF, or in need families, or whatever it's called. Thing is, everything needs to be temporary, okay? Social Security, disability, a lot of people, you know, they commit fraud, waste, and abuse all the time. Like, for example, drugs, you know, and then a lot of Republicans hate it. They sit there and they say, that person's a hardworking American, that one's a hardworking Hispanic. Even some of the Hispanics are Republicans. They say, look, we don't do drugs, we don't do alcohol, we pay our taxes, and where's our tax money going? It's going to pay for boozers and potheads and druggies, and we're giving them free handouts to Social Security, disability, and SSI, and food stamps, and government insurance, and you know, health care, and phone service, and internet service. And we're working hard while these people sit at home and they exercise their hands and they say, what is going on? And, you know, the thing is, the good Lord's looking and going, you either get these people treatment or you throw them out. Plain and simple. The thing, or throw them off. I mean, there's too many people I see everywhere. There's people out there that are truly disabled. They're afraid that Uncle Sam's going to cut them off just because, the government's shut down. But guess what? The ones that aren't, I mean, there's too many people in this country that's taking advantage. That's plain and simple. They are taking advantage. They are the ones. I know a guy once said something like, he knew he was going to be transferred over to Medicare. So he's like, before Medicare transfer, something to do with some type of weird thing anyways. And it's like, dude, that's like throwing cold water on a fire. Something other. But anyways, you get the point. Okay, I just don't want to talk about it. There's too much fraud, waste, and abuse in this country. Too much. And that's the thing. I'm tired of seeing it. I'm tired of seeing every time. Literally, I am tired of seeing it. All I want is to play my game, relax. Instead, people are emailing me, oh, are we getting food stamps? Yeah, the 50%? No. They said they were trying to put it together by Wednesday. I think today's Wednesday. Yeah, tomorrow's Thursday. They can't get it done. It might be next week. Donald Trump's going, nah, we're not giving it. I'm impounding the money. I don't care. Look, if they give me half my food stamps, it's $12. What am I going to do with $12? I mean, give it to the kids that need it, literally. Because, frankly, right now, I don't need it. I mean, I'm going to make dinner soon. Do I think I need it? No. Do I want it? No. Will I take it later? Yes. You can reimburse me in a month or two when the government is reopened. But the government needs to reopen on terms that we, the American people, can be acceptable. Not, oh, no, we need our health care and food stamps. Look, the Republicans out there, maybe half of them want health care restored. Maybe they're getting a rude awakening. But the people, I think, here's what I think. If we didn't have massive government bloat, you can cover all the food stamps that are needed, even for the red states, for the poor, or the working class. Because right now the job numbers aren't there. People aren't getting jobs. People aren't working. The job numbers aren't there. Yet people say, oh, well, the job numbers aren't there. Anyways, bottom line is the job numbers are not there. And the job numbers won't be there. And the job numbers probably will not be there. And so the American people need to realize the fraud, waste, and abuse is going to continue. Because these people, these Republicans, these honest Republicans, I'm a registered Republican, we're tired of waking up and seeing drug users and alcoholics basically getting away with everything while they have to work for it. They have to earn it. They have to jump through hoops just to get ahead. They have to jump through legitimate hoops while everyone else goes, oh, wow, that's amazing. Drug users getting away with drugs. And yet, you see fraud, waste, and abuse with employees. Employees. I mean, look. Let me put it this way, okay? I've seen a lot of Republicans, okay? A lot of Republicans are changing. A lot of Republicans are changing. A lot of Republicans are pissed. A lot of Republicans are pissed. Look at that email. Sorry, your Walmart package is delayed. Really? First or well, let me go check on that. I want to find out why it's delayed. I find it to be funny. It's Chloe's package because Chloe used my number. So, I mean, Chloe's package is delayed. What is it this time? Chloe's package is delayed because, well, it's Chloe. Pfft. Yeah, right there. Your package is delayed. We'll let you know when we and if we deliver it. Really? So what did Chloe buy? Oh, yeah, light bulb. So I guess the light bulb's imploded. So it's delayed because it's, let's see, she bought shampoo, conditioner, light bulbs, and razors. Yeah, so it's, oh, yeah, okay, so she buys all this, and it's gone by, oh, so Walmart's actually using, UPS. Pfft, thought they used FedEx. Wow. Let's just go over here because Chloe'd be like, you better check on it for me. Right. So we're going to check on this for Chloe because, well, Chloe's like, oh, the delay, really? And what's the delay? So it says right there, arrives tomorrow. So, we'll track shipment. Okay, let's track the shipment. And then we can track the other. Oh, this one's FedEx. So apparently FedEx has got one order. Well, what happened to the other order? Oh, so she's got a second order. View details. Or track package. Okay, so this one's FedEx too. So her light bulbs, and her light bulbs is that's funny as funny can be. Her light bulbs and her stuff. So what is coming by UPS? Let's see. Delivered tomorrow. Okay, so this one is her shampoo and conditioner is delayed, or shampoo is delayed from FedEx. Yeah, probably it imploded. You know how it is. Chloe buys something and it blows up. And then she's like, oh my God, it blew up. Oh, okay. Arrives Friday. So this stuff arrives Friday and this arrives. Okay, this is track shipment. Alright, so here we go. This says shipment is delayed. Alright, so let's check and see because apparently FedEx is claiming. Oh, so her order was coming from Texas, her first order. Her second order, the light bulbs, was coming from Texas. Wow. So they had to ship from Texas. Amazing. Now, Chloe's order says right here. I want to see this. Come on, dude. I don't. Oh. Yes, in chat, you stupid machine. Don't you hate these robots when they're trying to tell you something? You're like, no, I don't care. So apparently it left Indianapolis and it's stuck in Chicago right now. Pfft. Delivery date will be probably because the Chicago hub blew up her light bulbs. Let's see, is this the same number as this one? No, there's two numbers. Okay, so the second package, again, in Chicago. So, can we actually view all the shipping details? Yeah, so apparently they loaded it on a. So Left Indianapolis, the trailer was delayed. You left Indianapolis after the trailer was delayed by 9 hours. Got into Illinois, so went from Indiana to Hodgkins, which is outside Chicago, and it's apparently they're delayed by it's delayed by like 4 days because they shipped it by. They're offering. See, we get 2-day shipping from Walmart, and they're offering 2-day. You know, Sister Pee Wee would understand this too. Instead, they decided because it's a dog-eat-dog world, they're basically deciding to use UPS ground instead of FedEx. And FedEx, I don't even know if FedEx is ground for the one. Chloe placed her order. I think she placed it Thursday last week, so 1 week just to get packages in. I mean, the country's going down the toilet pretty fast when it comes to shipping. It's getting worse and worse. I mean, you know, it's like, you know, when it comes to Amazon, instead it used to be 24 hours for coffee. Now it's taking like 5 days again. So it's like, what's going on? Oh, yeah, I forgot. They're laying off drivers because they don't want to, I'm trying to find out what I was looking for. Yeah, so they're literally like, oh, yeah, okay, so it's all clean. Anyways, you get the idea. So they're just like, well, whatever. So, yeah, So, but anyways, yeah, so you see what's going on. So the American people are tired. They're tired of getting people bragging about their 50% off Walmart Plus or the Amazon Plus. Well, they got to pay full price or once a year for free shipping. And they're just tired of it, people. They're like, hey, why are we paying for these freeloaders? Yeah, well, we're working hard and these freeloaders, oh, I'm on a fixed income, really. I remember someone telling me one day, this was when Aaron came into my life in the beginning in 2005. 2005, right? He said to me, well, what's this pit bill for? It's like $9 a month, right? I said, oh, this bill's for my phone. You know, it was like $9 phone service back then. You know, you call up and then they give you a line and you pay through a company. It was like $9 through, like, what do you call it? $9 through, I do it every month. 2 payments, free transfers. I gave my account info. It was to MoneyGram, right? Now MoneyGram, I don't even know. Is MoneyGram even around still? Yeah, I'm not going to even look because you know I haven't used MoneyGram in 20 years. So MoneyGram, right? MoneyGram turns around, right? MoneyGram. Yeah, I think MoneyGram's with Walmart. So MoneyGram, right? Anyways, MoneyGram would get my money for my phone bill, and then they'd get my see. I'd go through a thing like there was like something called Comcast back in the day. Comcast, I think it was, or anyways, back in the 80s, it was a different internet, different television service. It was I don't even remember what it was in the 80s. I could look it up. Because the story is relevant, you know, but point is I had to use it to pay for I don't remember. It might have been, anyways, back in the day, we had this, TV, right? It was cable. Anyways, it was like $13 a month I had to pay. So it was like, phone was $9, basic phone, you know, you had no long distance. It was just a local number to call for home. And then, the, phone service was there, and then, you know, eventually they were offering, it was like $9, and then they said for like $29 a month you can have internet. So they brought in the internet router and hooked it up, you know, and it was fine. It was in my mom's room, and I don't even remember what happened. I think my mom got tired of me being on the computer in her room, so she kicked me out a long time ago. Anyways, the story goes is, you know, we had cable. My mom and I had basic channels, like 13 cable channels. And it was like $13 a month, you know, and it was like $1 a channel. We liked it, but eventually, we got out of it because it was the way it is, And a lot of people, they were like, yeah, and I don't remember what happened to it, but, it wasn't bad for $9 a month. And, yeah, so it's been a long time. A long, long time. Long time. And so, anyways, that's what happened. And so, it is what it is. But I love you all, like I said. And, the thing is nowadays people just don't want to see people paying those low prices. They think that if they are, and they're somewhat right, they're entitled. And they're entitled to have the same equal treatment. And this is why they don't like it. They don't like basically going out and basically paying like $40 or $60 or $80 per phone line, while someone like me goes in and says, oh, I need prepaid, and they're like, oh yeah, I got 20 gigs of data per month for tethering as a hotspot. How much do you have, Rita? And I go, $65 a month, crappy phone service, unlimited hotspot. And they say, prove it. And I show them the website, and they go, oh, but you have to utilize this, and that means you have to have it plugged in a car converter box, running through your laptop to use your mobile computer like the one I'm using today to make sure it runs properly, so you don't have it running, and so it is what it is. And so a lot of people are like, oh, but thing is, I pay monthly, and that's because it was prepaid. And they're like, any other bonuses with it? Yeah, they give me commercial-free Disney with this monthly plan. So, monthly prepaid plan. But, that's about it. So, point is it is what it is. So, to me, the American people, they're tired of paying and paying and paying. So, and because it's almost, I'm way behind on dinner time. So, point is, people, food stamps may be restored in the next 12 days. In the meantime, if you don't have to worry, go to your food banks. Otherwise, I don't want to hear you guys complaining, sending me emails, calling me bigots. And if you do like my content and you think I'm doing a great job doing this thing during the government shutdown, you can always donate if you can afford it. My email address is sanjuanislandprepper@aol.com or sanjuanislandprepper@yahoo.com. You can find the About Me page in my channel. But the thing is you guys can't keep basically sitting there going, oh, well, look, I would love to hear you guys comment. I would love to hear you guys comment on, by the way, before we continue, I'd like to know, didn't I do a poll the other day? Because I swore I did a poll. And a lot of you people that subscribe to me about the food stamp thing, I've had a couple of people say, hey, keep up the good work. I'm trying, but the thing is, sometimes I even get sidetracked. Unfortunately, the main thing is now that there's apparently a Democratic mandate, they think that we, the people, are going to win, and it is what it is. Let me see. Do we have any posts? Let me see here, because I remember doing a poll the other day. It says, do you think the government will be open by Thanksgiving? 5 votes. So it's like 3 and 2. So apparently we have yes and no. Yeah. So apparently, right there, that was 2 days ago, and right now they're claiming it may be open before Thanksgiving. Maybe, but it's all in the ability of the eye of the beholder. So Yeah, so anyways, apparently Temu keeps trying to con me to buy something. It's like, I don't want to buy something from Temu. So, anyways, you get the idea. So, basically, the bottom line is I want you guys to look at Donald Trump's tariff thing, see what SCOTUS is doing. Because a lot of people, they're thinking the economy is going down the toilet. And you know what? Maybe if you're basically a person who's, on fixed income, maybe you don't need any. I mean, literally, my stepdad used to say, you only buy what you need. So, say you needed 80 pairs of underwear a year, 80 pairs of underwear. Do you really need? I mean, I could argue with my stepdad. I got a letter I got to drop in the mailbox to him. But if he does call me, my dad, I haven't heard from in 20 years, I'm going to ask him, your old house you just sold recently, the photos are still on the website of sold. Why the heck do you have like 8 large TVs in your house? I mean, don't you think Didn't you teach us kids you only need one glass tube TV? It was like, his TV was, I think it was like 13 or 19. It sat in the corner of his room on a little shelf. Yeah, that was it. And then he's like, you don't need anything bigger. Well, he was on a bunk bed, so he had perfect vision. So I don't know if his vision's perfect still or crappy, but this daughter wants to know, why the hell do you have, my adopted brother Ted, I got 2 antique TVs, still works. I'm just hooking them up so I can reuse them. Why? Because I'm being frugal. In this day and age, you gotta be frugal. So, anyways, with that said, everyone, I want to go. So, like I said, please, if you like my content, please hit the like, subscribe, and thumbs up button. You'll get new notifications. I do like new content. Let's get this channel growing. People are always asking me how come I don't do daily channels, because there's nothing new. I mean, you guys don't give me any guidance on what you want out of me. Do you want prepping? Do you want news? What do you want? I mean, I know people are like, prepping, news, both. Prepping for whatever. I mean, look, I don't know what you guys want. And so to me right now, the government, a lot of people are gobbling up the no food bank thing, and there are no food stamps. And it's like, dude, when the food stamps get reinstated, a lot of that's going to be going away. The dodo bird, what's next? They're going to talk about mandates. Oh, we got a mandate, dog. We got a mandate for owning the Republicans. Really, that's cool, because the last time I saw, the Republicans were making a statement, and that statement is that they're tired of people ramming down their throats that they need their food stamps, they need their sex changes, they need their government housing, they need all this. You know what? There's a lot of Republicans that work hard, pay their taxes, that struggle, and some of them have subsidized housing, but most of them don't. They're just like, why should we be paying for other people's housing? I mean, literally, these Republicans think that you should be in a tent. That's what I was going to say, too. Or under a bridge. Yeah, no, there's other people that think differently, but you get the idea. So, again, please add and subscribe. Please post comments. Please leave feedback, suggestion, hit the like, subscribe button. So it's fun for your family, including your dogs, your cats, your bunnies, your service dogs, your service bunnies. The bell notification, thumbs up button, subscribe button. Keep the comments nice, all we ask. Thank you, and God bless you in everything you do. And we'll see you in the next video.